The devouring mother, the mother who eats her own children. What is a devouring mother and why did you click this video? I think there's a particularly nasty situation for men who have dealt with a devouring mother. So what's a devouring mother? The devouring mother is the mother instinct that has gone way far off, way out there. Think about it, the mother archetype, the mother energy is supposed to be loving, protective, like a mother bear, right? She's supposed to nurture her children, keep them safe, keep her cubs around her. The devouring mother is an extreme version of this. It's obsessive and controlling. It tries to control her children to keep them safe. By trying to control her children, she does the opposite. She keeps them close. She doesn't want them to go outside. She doesn't want them to play with dirt. She doesn't want them to do the things that children need to do to become healthy, integrated adults. And if you're a man, if you're a son of a devouring mother, it basically castrates men. This energy, obviously harmful to both genders, castrates the masculine drive to be controlled, to be possessed by the mother. Means in order for the male child to survive, in order for the son to survive, he has to become subservient to the mother. In order to get the love of his mother, he has to shut off all the masculine traits within him. The adventure, the boy that wants to play outside, the boy that wants to roughhouse, the boy who wants to wrestle other boys. Because the devouring mother is not going to allow any of that. The devouring mother wants to keep her cub safe. She says, no, you cannot play outside with those boys. It's not safe out there. And sometimes to the extreme that she will abuse the child, whether physically, emotionally, sometimes even sexually. And sadly, I've had my time with a devouring mother. So I've had to learn how to navigate adulthood, young adulthood and adulthood, and learn how to get out of that energy. If you were in a devouring mother situation, it's very likely, and if we have a similar temperament, it's very likely that you've had a complicated relationship with your own masculinity. You've probably had to shut it down. You've probably had to become a nice guy. You've probably had to put it below the surface, push it down. And it's not our faults. We did it for survival. We did it because as children, we will do anything to adapt to that situation, to get our parents' love, our parents' protection. Because as children, we are helpless. We have to mold ourselves to the situation. And if especially we had absent fathers or no father figure, it becomes a lot more complicated. Because when we don't have a strong masculine figure, we don't have a strong father figure, then how else are we supposed to pick up that torch of masculinity and run it through? Our society teaches some of those traits of a healthy masculine, but overall, not really. We see the shadow masculine often, or we see a very weak masculine, or no masculine. What I found for every man that has a devouring mother, at one point in his life, he has to embrace the shadow masculine. Of course, this is different for everyone, but he has to come to terms with the darkness inside of him. He has to break the chains of the mother that wants to control him. At one point, he has to separate himself, risk going outside. He has to realize that those barriers that were placed upon him are not real. The prison is not real. It reminds me of this experiment they did on elephants. So when the elephant was a baby, very small, it was tied by a rope to a post. So the elephant learned that it could not move, it could not go anywhere. It was small. So the rope actually kept it in place. Now think a full-grown elephant. A piece of rope is not going to stop a full-grown elephant, right? Well, this elephant grew up, got big, got full-sized, way bigger, way stronger than its captors. They even took away the rope. But the elephant stayed in place. It believed, because it had grown up that way, it believed that it was helpless. that it could not move, that it didn't have the power to move. This is called learned helplessness. And learned helplessness is what a lot of people that experience this energy from their mothers have. That's what they learn. And it's something that I've had to contend with for a long time, and I've had to fight and claw my way out. So that's why I say eventually we have to come with a shadow masculine, get that aggressive energy, come to terms with it. We have it within, and claw our way out. We have to wrestle with the control and align ourselves back into the driver's seat. We definitely have to separate ourselves, go on our own way, take ultimate responsibility as men. Be responsible for everything, take ownership over everything, and cultivate that masculine energy. I think for every man, it's important to have a brotherhood of men, to have strong masculine men, a healthy masculinity around him, pushing him, challenging him, guiding him. I think this is especially potent for those of us that have had that controlling narcissistic mother. When we surround ourselves with a healthy masculine brotherhood or father figures, but I would say more so brotherhood, because brotherhood implies equality. It means we're all on the same level. Although there is also a time when every man has to be blessed by the king energy, by the fatherly energy, by the old sage energy. In every indigenous, native, old tribal society, the transition between boyhood and adulthood meant that you were blessed by someone who was not your father. You were basically told you are now a man. This is what it means to be a man. After going through the trials and tribulations, after going through the initiation rites of becoming a man, that's what that sage-like figure did. It's the king blessing his knights. It's the sage. It's the tribe leader telling that young man, you are not a part of our brotherhood. You are now a part of something bigger, and now it is your time to serve. In our present day society, we lack this. There's a huge lack of initiation rites for men. That's why we have to do it ourselves, especially if we had a devouring mother. If we had a devouring mother, we gotta take the extra initiative, or we're always gonna be flaccid in life. We're not gonna have a healthy masculine energy. We're gonna be those nice guys. We're gonna be passive aggressive. We're not gonna be dominant and assertive. The goal is to be dominant and assertive. Think of the Spartan like sign. It's like a upside down V, right? It's like a mountain. That's the masculine. The masculine is erect symbolically. It's like the pyramids, and the feminine is a V, the shape of the womb. It's inverse. This has existed for eons, forever. These symbols, this energy that has always existed. And that's why for every man that has masculine energy, that has a masculine essence, he must initiate himself into this masculinity, into this brotherhood, into this fatherhood, to this type of energy. So if you're just starting your journey here and you haven't tapped into that shadow masculine or these different masculine energies, I highly encourage it. I highly encourage it. It doesn't make you a bad person. A lot of men who have these mothers, these type of mother wounds, have a lot of internalized shame, and it's time to release that shame, because I lived with that. It's a heavy feeling. Think about what shame feels like. It's heavy, right? So we have to release that so we can start running, so we can be lighter and go faster into our journey. Those dark aspects of yourself, your sexuality, whatever it is, they're not inherently bad. Allow them to come up, harness that energy and let it propel you. Allow that energy to come up so you can destroy your competition, so you can kill it at the gym, so you can start building your body. That is the power of tapping into those primal emotions. Our ancestors, think about it, our ancient ancestors, what were they doing? They were hunting woolly mammoths. They were out there surviving. They were not getting killed by the saber-toothed tiger. They weren't at home sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, watching Netflix. That is not what they were doing. And I'm not trying to talk shit, but it's the truth. So if you have more masculine energy and that does not fulfill you, does not make you happy, just sitting there purposelessness, without direction, chained, then these are the steps, these are the things we have to do to feel fulfilled. It took me a while to understand this. I was essentially chained by my wounds, by my shame, by my childhood, by my own self, my own limiting beliefs, my own limitations. I've had to break those, and it is a process, but the first step is the best step. Because once you've seen the other side, once you've felt the divine, once you've felt that energy within you, once you've felt that drive, once you've felt that strength, once you've felt the call to adventure, the call of your ancestors, now you know more exists out there. Now you're able to do it more and more and more. I really do have a special place in my heart for those of us that have dealt with a devouring mother, because it is an uphill battle. It is an uphill battle to not have the normal motherly love or even the fatherly guidance. I was lucky that I did have a father present, although my parents were separated, so it wasn't an ideal situation. At least I had some guidance. At least I had some idea of what the healthy masculine could look like, the potential of the healthy masculine. Either way, for every man, it is his own unique journey, his own voyage into masculinity, into breaking from the chains of that devouring mother. That chain, that rope, it does not exist. So I'm going to recap really quick. 1, tap into the shadow masculine, especially if you've been denying that aspect of yourself. Now, I'm not saying go out there and, wreak havoc on society, because masculinity unchecked, especially the shadow masculine, does wreak havoc on society. That's why, crimes happen by men, are made by men. That's why crimes happen. That's why men are driven to join gangs and do chaotic things when they don't have the purpose. That was the purpose of having initiation rites, was so you could be productive, a productive member of that society. And so you could have a higher purpose and work towards a higher purpose. And 2, have a strong brotherhood or a bond with men, at least one male. That is an example of healthy masculinity. It doesn't have to be perfect, because we're not perfect. We're not always tapped into healthy masculinity. Sometimes we tap into the shadow masculine, or whatever it is, right? That's normal. But what I'm saying is having a brotherhood of men, or one brother. There's statistics saying that every year, basically, ever since like about the 90s, the amount of close friends that men have has diminished. It's like 1 or 2 now. Most men only have 1 or 2 male friends. This is where there's a crisis in our men, because how else have we survived? But by building tribes, by building brotherhoods, by having that connection with others. Now, it's a bit difficult, I understand, to find men that have similar values, similar mindsets, at least for some of us. But we build it over time. It's gonna come. Align yourself to those values, align yourself to that lifestyle, and that will naturally come. I've implemented these 2 things over time, and it is coming to fruition. I've sowed the seeds, and it's starting to grow. It's beautiful to see. Progress is a beautiful thing. Anyway, I highly advise this. Please let me know if you've had similar experiences, or what you've done yourself, if you've already made some progress in that area. Please comment below. Someone might read that and it could help them, and it could help me. It could be something that I implement myself or talk about in another video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I want to get this message out to as many people as possible, as many men as possible. Yeah, thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.